I would say chill the F out.
Okay.
I mean, that is really what I'd have to say. And also if you do run into a situation where there is a clash of personalities or where somebody is being incredibly sort of toxic or insensitive or cruel, there are directors out there that are actually quite cruel. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
cruel.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Um, or if you see something cruel, even if it's not coming at you, um, I think, take a breath, take a deep breath and recalibrate and try to shake it off. Try to gain back your mojo, try to gain back the gremlin, the leprechaun in your heart, and move forward with a, a greater sense of positivity and strength, knowing that if this day is going to be a nightmare, it's on a chip
Mm-hmm.
and you can just, you know, you just keep going, just keep working through it, just keep working through it. And if somebody is really cruel and toxic and mean to whomever on set, not even if it's coming at you, um, that, um, be a part of the cosmic solution, not the cosmic problem.
Yeah.
And don't live in fear, live in joy. You must face your fear with joy. You must quiet your fear. You must quiet your anxiety. You must face your anxiety with the mission of whatever your character is playing or doing, because that mission is really important to the story. And the story is how, you know, from time long ago, people sitting around a campfire told stories, and that makes all our lives better.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're part of making life better. And so be a part of the bigger picture and remove yourself from the toxicity of the day, you know?
Yeah.
And then protect yourself. Develop a little armor, develop a body shield. I think you do have to have somewhat of a tough um, a tough shell to survive this business.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because there's so much rejection, and you put your heart and soul into so much that nothing happens with it.
Mm-hmm.
That I think you have to constantly return to a sense of the joy of the work and the importance of the mission. And, a friend of mine a long time ago told me, he said, Kathy, just go where you're wanted and don't worry about the ones that you're rejected from. Don't worry about the ones that don't want you. So what? Go. There are others that want you. Go where you're wanted.
Yeah.
Follow the road that is embracing you, and bring your whole soul and spirit to that road. I think that is really uh, that was key advice for me. Really key advice.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, who knows what those rejections were all about, and so much of this doesn't depend on, doesn't have anything to do with you, especially as an actor. There's 1,000 things that go into those decisions that you have zero control over.
Yeah,
And
I mean it's heartbreaking though. I mean
yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's it's completely and utterly heartbreaking. I mean I was just up for a film, and it was between me and another girl, and um, she got the role, which I'm good for her.
Yeah.
And and but I literally laid down on my couch for like 2 days. I just was so sad.
Oh
And
no.
I don't always want to roll that badly, and I do work all the time. So, I've always got the joy of another project to look forward to. But occasionally you fall so hard for the soul of a part that you want to work on that it's deafening,
Mm-hmm.
you
Yeah.
know. And so the pain of that rejection can be quite stunning. And I think you have to believe that the next role will come along, the next thing will happen. And for me, a lot of how I've survived this business is, I just like to work. So I'll work on things where, it's a big budget, and I have a very, very grateful for the cushiness of the salary. Or I'll work on something, I'm about to do this Columbia grad student film,
Oh, yeah.
and it's a really beautiful little script. And I'm like, I think I have deferred pay. I don't think I'll ever see a dollar, but
Yeah.
but over a weekend, I have nothing else to do that weekend, and it's a truly interesting journey. And that excites me, and then that gives me that excitement. The joy of that excitement protects me and gives me a way to weather the defeats.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though, I'm not doing some big fancy job with some big fancy everything attached to it, I'm working this little piece of art where I get to explore some incredibly dynamic moments. And that is life giving.
Yeah.
Life just does not only come from the fancy, life comes from the doing. And I think it's really valuable for me to not get distracted by the fancy, not just distracted by the shitty.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get distracted in either direction. Stay the course of wind in your sail. Find the wind, constantly find the wind. And you may travel on rocky waters, and you may travel on waters where, there's very little to eat on the boat. There's not enough fresh water to drink, and you feel like you're going to die of thirst. Or you may travel on stormy seas, or you may travel on glorious seas. And
Mm-hmm.
from my experience, the likelihood is that you'll travel on all of them.
Yeah.
And I think probably any sailor who's been out on, sailing on the open waters, which is, you're on the open waters when you're in this crazy business. Um, I bet you any sailor would say that they've traveled every sea,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and you have to know that, you know, sometimes the day will be amazing, and sometimes the day will not be. And it is the traveling, you know, find the wind, put the wind in your sail,
Yeah.
and find the art. And art is what for me uh, puts the wind in my sail, you know,
Nice. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
so that I can make it to a place where I can actually, um, when I get that fancy job, I've got a lot of wind in my sail. And so the fancy job, it becomes just another wonderful thing to do, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So um, I think it's, for me, has been vital that I don't get attached to, you know, the size of anything, the size of the paycheck, the size of the uh, fancy stars, the size of the, just, I only get attached to, the work.
Yeah.
And I don't get attached to the, the shitty. I don't get distracted by, you know, the insensitivity or the cruelty, or I don't just you can't get distracted by the shiny or the shitty. You got to stay focused,
Yeah.
You got to stay with the purpose, stay with the mission, and the mission will set you free.
Nice.